He's been a Toastmaster for 14 years. He is an ubiquitous presence in the local Toastmastering scene. Our club is only one of the many clubs he has bestowed his august presence on.
I have no life.
Dennis has life as Toastmasters. Today, he's presenting a wonderful speech about the benefits of Toastmasters, the fun zone of public speaking and leadership. Let's give me a warm welcome to Dennis O'Kane, Distinguished Toastmaster. Yes.
I was pacing around in the hallway of a venue that would be a life changer for me. I was asking myself a line out of a tune by The Clash. Should I stay or should I go? Love that song. And before I could go, they started to show up. But it's a good thing that I stuck around, because I would have missed out on a golden opportunity in the fun zone of public speaking and leadership, Toastmasters. This was 14 years ago, and I was a fellow in serious need. Now look, I'm a chatty cat. How many of you realize that Dennis Patrick O'Kane has the great capability of talking paint off the wall? Talent on loan from God. But here's a problem. If I would be at a party or a job interview, and let's say at the party, if somebody was drunk, and they decided to be a loudmouth and ask a question, putting you on the spot, or me on the spot, I would freeze. And such was the case in July of 2003. My wife Heather and I attended a party of former co-workers of a health club here in downtown Seattle. It was the old Metropolitan Health Club. It was a mecca of all hardcore bodybuilding and muscle head trainers. And there he was at the party, the former owner, drunk. A former Mr. Washington winner, drunk and red-faced. And he asked me a question in front of my wife, putting me on the spot. And Big Mouth here froze. And I tried to get up to the answer. And he said, "What's the point?" Oh, well, I got to my point a bit later. I left like a dog with his tail between his legs, and all the way home I was cursing at my wife about this jerk former owner. A few days later, after much rumination, I remembered what a friend had told me about Toastmasters in 1987. 2003, 1987, I move quickly, don't I? I am a fast mover. And he told me how Toastmasters helped him come out of his shell so he could give presentations at work. He thought it would be good for me. Because, you see, I had a hard time organizing my conversations. And the pastor of a church that I was a member of asked if I would be willing to help up front. I forgot everything I learned about public speaking when I left college after 2 years. So I decided maybe I should find a Toastmasters club. Good idea. So I located a club that fit my schedule. I was quite busy. I was a personal trainer and also working as a property manager. I had 3 properties that I had to babysit at Capitol Hill. Lots of tenants. And busy with some other projects. And I know, look, I know this sounds really passé. Gosh, we have all sorts of things going on, right? Ubiquitous is the way we live today. Busy, busy, busy. The club met the first and third Thursday of each month at noon. Perfect. It was in downtown Seattle. Perfect. Problem. The sponsor was KCM Tetra Tech Environmental Engineers. Intimidating to me. I barely got out of high school. Somehow I made it into college for 2 years. I'll show up and see what it's like. So I went down and I attended that first meeting. after deciding not to leave, I found that it was incredible. The members came up to me as I was entering the meeting room, asking me about me. What brings you here? Just like what you heard today with the guests. Friendly, welcoming, just like this club. The members seemed to care about each other and their presentations of what they were going to do during the meeting. The club president introduced herself to me and she said, "By the way, I'm the Toastmaster today. Let me ask the Table Topics Master if you'd like to take part. Here's the deal. When you go to a Toastmasters meeting for the first time, you're not just tossed up to the lectern to give a speech. You're asked. This is a volunteer program. Wanting to take care of that table topics problem right off the bat with drunks that ask me weird questions? Yes! The meeting started. Well organized. Toastmasters like Diana led the meeting with a fantastic agenda like this. The role players had roles that would help each speaker become a better speaker and a better leader. The counter grammarian, that really speaks to me because I was the and king of Capitol Hill. And it drove my wife to apoplexy. And I decided then and there that I was on a mission to eradicate that. The timer, keeping me on track and moving along. I know I've turned more than one timer red-faced, and even in this meeting room, I'm embarrassed. But I'm working on that. In fact, whenever somebody gives me a criticism, I just say, let me write that down. I will try to do better next time. Where does that go? But the timer keeps the meeting in check. And that's a form of leadership. Then there were two incredible speakers that I enjoyed hearing. The speakers had confidence. They had structure. Everything that I wanted to do, and I wanted to be those guys. Then table topics, I was asked a question. I gave a response, and I got finished. And that's what happens here a lot at Toastmasters. You may note, there's a lot of applause. It creates a wonderful synergy, a fantastic energy where people are encouraged to get up and speak, take part, help out. To me, it's about the people. At the end of the meeting, I talked to the club president. She told me the Toastmasters is a self-paced program, like Diana said today. It comes in a two-tier. First you have the communications, the heart of which is a competent communications manual. 10 speeches to help you become a better speaker. It's up to you how quickly you get through it and what you get out of it. The first speech is all about you, the icebreaker. Well, I would have no problem with that one. Then the other manual is the CL manual. Competent leadership, where you develop leadership skills from the real world. And some of the projects involve listening. I have ADD, I hate to say it. And evaluating a speaker, which is part of the Competent Leadership Manual, was a challenge for me. But I got through it. And guess what? There was some success. I wound up competing in an evaluation contest, winning and going all the way to division. So that is part of my testimony. It has helped me become a better listener, to work with the team better. Being a former competitive bodybuilder, it was all about me and getting my junk done. But in Toastmasters, it's about working together with the team to help other people become better speakers and better leaders. And I've had the immense and wonderful pleasure of seeing people do that. After I left, I thought, wow, this is pretty cool stuff. 2 weeks later, I showed up with a check in my hot little hand, signed up. A few weeks later, I got my manual. A few weeks after that, I said, I want to give a speech. Icebreaker. So I gave the icebreaker. I had my little 3x5 in my hand, and I went through it, I got through it. I sat down. It was like racetrack speaking, 54 years in 6 minutes. I sat down. Evaluator gave me an evaluation. Oh, am I going to be verbally caned? What happened was amazing. They told me what I did well, and they gave me things to build on. And that's what happens when you receive an evaluation of Toastmasters. Helpful hints on how to become a better speaker. And guess what? When you're speaking, you're taking on leadership. When you're serving as an evaluator or table topics leader, you're developing speaking skills. I have not shut up since. You can ask my wife. Oh, man. But I have delivered over 100 Toastmasters speeches. I've delivered speeches to civic groups, community groups, fitness groups. And some may find this terribly hard to believe, but I've delivered 60 sermons. That's a lot of work to a very critical audience, trust me. I've had the opportunity to compete in contests, humorous speech, table topics, international speech contests. International speech contest is held this spring where you have the opportunity to become the world champion of public speaking. But all along, what I have noticed is there's been incredible people helping me get where I wanted to go in Toastmasters. And when my confidence was terrible, and I was doubting my leadership capabilities as a club president for the first time, they lifted me up and guided me. It's a wonderful step-by-step process, and in Toastmasters, you have the opportunity to take on leadership, which is part of growth. Toastmasters encourages you to take on leadership as it helps you learn how to give back and help other Toastmasters grow. And consequently, you grow. My favorite role has been to serve as a mentor, guiding and helping young Toastmasters to become, well, it sounds like a corny commercial, the best they can be. All along it's been fun. Dr. Ralph Smedley, the founder of our organization, said that we learn best in moments of enjoyment. True story. So here's my thought for today. Take this wonderful opportunity to do as I did and others in this room have done, to step into the fun zone of public speaking and leadership, and you'll experience some incredible things.